here's the plan today, folks. We're hiking into a spot where I've done all my e-scouting on my OnX, and I want to go in and confirm some of the things that I've seen on here. Got a lot of waypoints marked, camp spots, glassing spots. It's about, well, I don't know, from here to where I think I want our camp in September, I think is about 5.5 miles in. We'll try to give some logic to why certain places are marked on my map in this e-scouting plan, from a camp, from a glassing spot, what I would do in a, say, peak rut of September versus what I would do in a, I don't know, let's say post rut of late October or late season of November. And then there's about a 4 or 5 year old burn that came in way back in here, a couple drainages over. I'm gonna go look at that also, if I have time today. If not, I'll probably just glass that burn from up on the divide. E-scouting, boots on the ground. Corner pin. Don't mess with them. This one was set in 1965. Been here ever since, telling people where the corners of the boundaries are. Before OnX came along, you relied on those things, and paper maps, and your compass. How many of you know how to run a compass? All right, Dale does. Marcus does. I do. Back in the day, as they call it. I sound like I'm old. Grandpa. These meadows are grouse magnets. When they dry off and the grasshoppers get in here, the blue grouse are all over eating those grasshoppers.
What about the elk, Randy?
Huh? The elk? We'll get there. Don't be.
You seem to have your mind focused on other things.
Well, I told Corey we wouldn't be distracted by grouse in here, because he was worried that this was just going to be a glorified grouse hunt if I brought him in here. And so far, Corey, you don't have anything to worry about. Oh, in late season rifle, I think they're going to use some of those southeast, southwest, top facing areas, and I might go down more when I set up a camp then. But get down here further, check it out on my OnX and see if it jives with what I think it should be. I got like a 5-year-old Snicker bar in here I think I'm gonna eat. What's the oldest Snicker bar you've ever eaten, folks? This one I found in my boat. I think it probably has been at Fort Peck in the heat a few extra days. And I know all of you health freaks are gonna say, Newberg, what are you doing eating a Snicker bar? I eat a lot of Snicker bars. So, a lot of you are wondering how this works when you're down in a canyon. I'm on airplane mode. My battery has 70% left. And my OnX is still working, because when you put it on airplane mode, your GPS still works. So I've downloaded my maps, and I'm using the off-grid feature. And if I'm worried about my battery dying, this little jackery device right here, turn it on, voila, my phone is charging. I'll get about 3 charges out of this little jobby. What a beautiful place.
Onward and upward.
Onward, upward. This land is your land is what's going through my head right now. As I was walking the ribbon of highway, I saw above me that golden skyway. Saw below me a golden valley, and this land was made for me. Finally sat down because I'm seeing all these elk tracks in this burn. The very first place I popped down, I look and there's a herd of elk. Middle of the day, 1 in the afternoon, up on their feet, feeding in the middle of this burn. Holy cow, there are a lot of them. Whew. And people wonder why I hunt burns, right? This burn is 3 years old, 4 years old. Must have burned really hot because it's not as grown in as I thought it would be by now. But there's a lot of food here. A lot. I counted 62 cows and calves on that knob there. Now they get looking, there's a bunch more below them and to the right of them that I hadn't seen. I bet you there's over 80 of them there. Now there's some coming in, pouring over the ridge from the right. It's amazing. There's something in that burn that they really like to feed on. I wonder if this is more than one group. There's a line that keeps coming over the ridge from the right, just mingling in with them. Well, the good news and the bad news. Good news is there's a lot of elk in here. Bad news is where they're at, it gets really tight where this burn is. And I'm gonna be coming in here with 2 guys from Gerber. And if there's another group of people in here, in such a small, long, narrow area, we're gonna be on top of each other. And I thought about coming in here in rifle season with 2 groups, me and Matt Seidel from On Axe, and then Corey Jacobson and Donnie Drake, but I don't know where we would go. We'd be bumping into each other the whole time. We're down on the lower end, we're 5.5 miles in here, and it's private down there about 1.5 miles. And if you bump them, you're just gonna be up against that private boundary. And this stuff over here to the right looks great, but as quick as you drop over the ridge, there's another private section over there. Dang, if all of this was just back up the hill about 1 mile. Well, what do you guys say? Start the long grunt back over the divide? I'm probably the most flexible guy you'll ever hunt with. I am. I can do the splits. I can do anything. I'm 55, almost 55 years old, and I can do the splits. You're all a bunch of muscle-bound gym rats. Need to be old like me, limber. All right, I feel pretty limbered up. Look at all the elk tracks in this burn. Who'd thunk it, huh? Look at them all. Mercy. Well, back there in that burn about I don't know, 1.5 miles, 1.75 miles, I saw a lot of elk. I saw a lot of elk sign. And it's gonna be a high risk, high reward set up. I'm gonna leave it up to the guys from Gerber who are coming here for archery season. If we go in there and there's somebody there, we're just gonna have to turn and go back out. It's not a big enough area for multiple people to hunt. So if that's what they wanna do, I'm good with that. We just got a private boundary on one side that's pretty tight, and then we've got a pretty tight valley where the burn is, and that's where most of the elk are gonna be. So we're gonna have to hunt it really carefully. And I've come back this way. I just checked on my OnX. From where I was glassing as the crow flies is 3/4 mile. From where the elk are, it's about 2.5 miles. Something like that, 2 1/4. So I feel safe camping here. Now, some of you are probably gonna ask, why did you pick this spot, Randy? Well, we're gonna have llamas. So I need some open areas. We can clear all this blow down and stuff. We can clear spots. The llamas will have plenty to eat. The creek is just right over there, 40 yards. And you've got a tight spot in this canyon here, so you're gonna have a breeze all the time. If you have to hang meat, a breeze is really helpful, and shade. We can rig up a really good meat pole and have lots of shade, lots of breeze, everything we need. It's pretty flat. I mean, it's gonna take some doing to clear out all the junk that's in the way. But between there, here, and down there, we got enough area that we could set up a good camp, and this would be it. Oh man, almost 11 miles, 9.5 hours on our feet, or mostly on our feet. Wonder what the poor people did today. Because we were rich. And you get to go on a hike on your public lands like we did today. That's like as rich as you get. I'm pretty sure, anyhow. So, I need an answer from the audience. This is a very high risk area. That if we go in there, and there are other people, we've wasted a day in and out. But, as you saw, by how many elk are in there, if there are that many cows, and there's that many tracks in that, whatever, 4-year-old burn, that is gonna hold a lot of elk in September. So, to Andrew and Carson at Gerber Gear, the audience is gonna say, should we, well, how do you do this? Yes, no, poll down below? What's that?
You can put a poll.
All right, somewhere up here there's gonna be a poll. Should we go all the way in there with the risk that we could have a competition or we could screw it up? Or should we not go in there and go find a different spot? Thanks for watching.